Mitsuki's will is taking him to the hidden land of stone, where a brand new enemy awaits. What's up, my ninjas? It's time to take another look at the Boruto anime series. The Mitsuki arc continues, and thankfully, this episode finally starts to dive into this brand new villainous organization, which doesn't really seem to have a name or a clear motive quite yet, but I have to say that already they're pretty interesting. It is officially confirmed that yes, they are from the Hidden Stone Village, but they don't seem to have any sort of clear affiliation with the higher-ups from that village, such as Kuratsuchi and the people who work directly under them. They seem to have their very own plans, and they're led by some mysterious villain who goes by the name of Lord Ku. I don't know what this guy's plan overall is, but he seems to be able to use some crazy forbidden jutsu to the point where all of these characters who have the bandages around their face seem to not even be human in the first place. They might actually be something that he constructed using some form of forbidden jutsu, and they seem to have a very short lifespan. They're kind of similar to those other weird mud monster creatures that have been popping up in this arc, who remind me a lot of Kakuzu's weird string monsters. They seem to have a small lifespan as well, and when it's time for them to go away, they either simply just die, or the members of this organization decide to kill them off. What we do learn from this episode is that Mitsuki is going to be very important to Lord Ku's plan, but for what that plan is, well, it's kind of mysterious. One thing that I really did love about this episode is they do confirm that the abilities of Sekie, the one member of the group who seems to get really close with Mitsuki, actually is using the forbidden jutsu that Deidara used in the original series, using clay and being able to transform it into living objects which will eventually explode. We got to see that in action in the last episode where Yurito unfortunately ended up getting hit with this big explosion, which miraculously does not kill him. Aside from that, that's basically the bulk of this episode, however. We don't really get to spend too much time with Boruto and their friends, as they're continuously trying to make their way to the Hidden Stone Village, and so that they can find Mitsuki. What is interesting, however, is that Chocho and Inojin are actually going to be returning to the village to warn everybody about what's going on here. Now, while watching this, I did have to say that isn't that a little weird that they have to return all the way to village to actually tell these people this, especially because there is a scene in this episode with Naruto actually talking on a phone with Kuratsuchi? This leads me to believe that A, cell phones don't exist in the series, or B, actual landline phones are the only way to actually communicate in that way in the series. Maybe getting to a phone is very difficult for these characters, but it looks like Chocho and Inojin are going to be sort of going off on their very own personal adventure, as they even discover a couple of their fellow ninjas from Konoha Village who are completely petrified. Why? Who knows? Watch the next episode. But as I said, most of this episode is dedicated to Mitsuki as he's traveling with this group of bandaged up weirdos. Mitsuki himself doesn't even really seem to know why he's involved in any of this at all, and I'm really curious to see how he's actually been drug along in this entire situation. I mean, it really doesn't seem like something that he would do of his very own volition or of his free will. How did he even meet these guys in the first place, or is this all some sort of weird plan which has been constructed by Orochimaru to test out his son? It's still a complete and utter mystery, and they're going all J.J. Abrams on us by not giving us any real clear answers. So what's the rundown on this episode of Boruto Naruto Next Generations? Like I said, kind of a simple episode, but one that's finally starting to delve a little bit more into the mysterious villains of this brand new arc. And what makes them ultimately really mysterious is that this is an anime original only arc. It's not based on a manga, it's not based on any novel series, it's something that was created originally for this series, and really that's the thing that's sort of driving my excitement here, not knowing what is going to happen. That and the fact that I love the fact that even though the entire Boruto series is staged to be like a more peaceful time in the ninja world, there's still a surprising amount of tension between all of the different ninja villages. The accusations that apparently it was these Hidden Stone ninja which attacked Konoha Village and even caused Yurito's face to go kaboom is actually causing a lot of controversy between Konoha and Hidden Stone. When Naruto decides to actually talk to Kuratsuchi, you can tell that there's a lot of tension in the air. She's not too happy about the fact that these accusations are flying so wildly, but at the same time, you can probably understand that she's probably upset over the fact that there are people within her village village, which are causing problems for her and Naruto, and at this point, these villages are a lot closer here, so you can definitely tell that things are starting to boil over a little bit here. And a lot of this is almost completely out of her hand, to the point where she says that if even Boruto and his friends decide to come into the village, well, they're just going to end up apprehending them and sending them right back to Konoha. You would think that Naruto and Sasuke would somehow try to get involved with this situation, but if they did that, well, it wouldn't be Boruto's anime series anymore. They have to focus more on these younger kids and the journey that they're going on. All of the scenes of Boruto and his friends in this episode pretty similar to what we actually saw from the previous episodes, with them just sort of questioning, is Mitsuki really a deserter? Did he really decide to abandon Konoha Village? With Boruto being incredibly headstrong, believing that no, he didn't actually doing this, and some of the other characters still having some reservations and some doubts about what he's doing, but still managing to back up their friend. This is a continuation of Naruto, after all. Everything is going to be fueled by the power of friendship. Thankfully, this episode does give us more time with the villains, who have very fun, wacky, and crazy designs. I especially love the female member of the group. Like the others, she does have the bandages completely around her mouth, but I love that she has this big crazy umbrella and this crazy looking top hat. It's just nutty. I really like it. I also can't wait to see some of the wild theories about these guys as this arc is going to go on. I actually have a theory that the leader of this organization is a character who actually did appear in this episode. There's a scene where, like I said, Naruto is talking to Kurotsuchi on the phone, and she has an aide, which is actually in her office, a character that we've never actually seen before, and they tend to put a lot of emphasis on him, and he has a surprisingly distinctive design for a character who's just sort of there in the background. This could very well be the Lord Ku that is actually leading this entire organization, and that means he's actually working directly under the Kage of this village, which is allowing him to be all the more mysterious. That might be a wild theory on my part, but I still think that it would be kind of interesting. Also, visually speaking, I loved that one shot of the Hidden Stone Village at night. At the end of the episode, it is implied that Boruto and his friends are about to have a tense confrontation with one of the members of this organization who's attacking a bunch of Konoha Village ninja with his weird giant, like, mud creatures, which are known as the Akuta, and he's also using his giant Tonfa weapons, which he uses to crack the skulls of many ninja in his path. I can't wait for all sorts of crazy action, so I have to say, even with some of the annoying flashback sequences in this episode, which is basically just a straight reminder about the third Hokage, it is kind of cool, though, that we do get to see a scene of Konohamaru actually interacting with his cousin in this episode. I thought that that was really great. She never had an opportunity to actually meet her grandfather, but she's heard about all of the things that Orochimaru has actually done, and because of that, she seems to have her reservations about Orochimaru, and she wants to get Konohamaru's feelings about that as well. I'm glad that they can include her yet again, because again, she's just really fun, and I like that they address the fact that these characters are family, and they're involved in some really crazy stuff. Really, it's surprisingly engrossing, and I'm really pumped up to see what else they're going to deliver in this brand new arc of Boruto. So I'm going to give this episode right here a 4 out of 5. Pretty good development, really interesting villains who seem to have connections to some of the previous ones from the original series like Deidara, but still, their plan is ultimately mysterious. We're just going to have to keep watching to see what's going to happen. So yeah, 4 out of 5 from me. If any of you guys did watch this episode, I'd love to get your thoughts about it in the comment section below, and what you hope to see from the rest of this brand new Mitsuki-centric arc of Boruto, Naruto Next Generations. Thank you guys for watching this review. I'll see you all next time, and as always, stay down now, baby.